because it says, I require health care, not MAID. This is a country where you have to present a card in the medical system to save your life. We do that, but we need sanctuary. People like the Delta Hospice Society, they're trying to provide palliative care sanctuaries, must be allowed to operate. We're ready to go. We need to be allowed to operate. There are other organizations in this country that will help, that will provide sanctuaries in their communities for people. That must be allowed to happen. We must be allowed to embrace what palliative care always was. That is to help people live well until their natural end. And we do nothing to hasten death. This was part of our Canadian identity. This was a national treasure where people like Dr. Belfour Mount, their entire careers were put towards palliative care. And palliative care has been destroyed in Canada. They just provide lip service now, but really their palliative care means you can kill people, when they're in your ward. We need that. So we need to equip our people on the front lines with documentation and legal forms. We need to have places where people could go for sanctuary. But what we really need to do is repeal this legislation, or write into this legislation protection for palliative care, protection for the vulnerable populations. Without that, it's just a free-for-all, as it is now.
Yes.
Where Empire MAID rules the day.
And socially, Angelina, it goes well beyond what we've discussed today, because here's the connections. They succeed in devaluing human life to the point where it no longer has any more value than a pet, if it even has that. Now, one of the major purposes of palliative care, because it's often provided to the elderly, that elderly person has a family who loves them and wants to spend as much time with them as they can. And when you take that concept away, it devalues human relationships. And that is going to lead to yet further societal breakdown, because people no longer have those connections. They don't see that other person as being valuable. In short, what it would do is produce an entire society of sociopaths.
And they already try. They've prepared. Health Canada has prepared the little kit for the children, activity book around MAID.
Yes, I reported on that a couple of weeks ago. Extremely disturbing stuff.
That's right. So just desensitize the children, right? So not only do they cart away grandma and euthanize her, and the children don't say anything, but now it becomes just part of the, like you said, just, the identity of the child. When is their turn, they will opt for it in discussion with the experts and say yes. And I'll tell you, these experts get a hold of these children, and the parents are not even allowed to be in the room. The parents are not even allowed to access to the medical records of the child. And they tell them things like, you're never going to have a normal life. You'll never have children. You're going to be going through pain. The treatment options are horrific. So they scare the crap out of the child. And of course, the child's like, all right, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
So, what we're talking about is a movement now. The greatest human rights movement of all time is the human rights movement for humanity. The human rights movement to protect the children, to protect the vulnerable, to protect palliative care in Canada. This is, people like Dying with Dignity Canada call themselves a human rights movement, a human rights organization. But the only thing they've ever done is never be satisfied. They got MAID. They got it.